Hello and welcome everybody to Armored Warfare. Today I'm going to be reviewing the German Leopard 1 main battle tank. In its time, the German the Leopard 1 main battle tank was considered a medium tank. However, with the Cold War period, the concept of light, heavy and medium tanks has nearly completely faded away and main battle tanks were introduced. Leopard 1 was one of these main battle tanks. I'll show you the strengths and weaknesses of the Leopard 1 and how you should apply this tank to your most effective benefit, I suppose, on the battlefield. I shall also compare it to its direct competition, the Tier 3 main battle tanks, such as the M60 and the T62. So let's begin, shall we? First of all, the role of the Leopard 1. The Leopard 1 has very little or next to no armour. So, this main battle tank, unlike the M60 and the T62 that you've seen in the game, will not be taking any hits. Well, will not be bouncing any shells, that's for sure. As far as taking hits goes, that's a bit of a different story. This is a very big tank, as you can see. If we compare it to the M60, the Leopard 1 is actually slightly bigger than the M60. And compared to the T62, it is a lot bigger, in terms of its profile and size in general. So how do you use the Leopard 1, and why is it such a specific and fun tank to drive? Well, considering its armour, as we take a look at the characteristics here, in the hull's front is only 70 millimeters. Now it is very well angled at some 45 degrees, maybe a bit even more than that. It looks around like 40 degrees. Anyways, great angling. However, it is only 70 millimeters thick. As such, will in no way, shape or form bounce anything that is fired from a other main battle tank or even a armoured fighting vehicle such as the BMP-1. What it will bounce though is light vehicle machine guns and high explosive shells. So in that sense you are protected from taking absurd damage like that. However, anything fired at you that is resembling a heat shell or, God forbid, an APCR or AP shell, there we go, get it right, will go straight through without any problems whatsoever. To compensate for your lack of armour, the Leopard 1 is given a huge amount of hit points. Huge amount of hit points? Well, compared to the M60 and the T62, yes, a rather nice bit of hit points. If you take a look at the upgrades here, with the armor retrofit, as well as the with the armor upgrade, as well as the retrofit for internal hull reinforcement, you get some 300-ish more health points than the M60 or the T62. To be specific, let's see here. It doesn't actually say here, does it? Yes, it does. 1,381 hit points, compared to the 1,060 on the T62 and the 1,310 on the M60. Actually, compared to the M60, it isn't that much, but with the retrofits, it is a sizably meatier tank. Well, how do you use this vehicle if you're not going to be blocking shots and basically playing it as a brawler? Because if you think about the M60 and the T62, which have great, nearly impenetrable turret armor, you want to get in close to the enemies and make them shoot your turret. Or get in a hold down position and again make them shoot your turret. With the Leopard 1, you really want to stay away from anyone that's firing at you. You want to sneak around, and you want to be stealthy, and you want to play a support tank. This is your role, essentially, in the game. You are not a tank that needs to be shot at. Your health pool is large, and you need to use it as a resource to sometimes secure kills or apply pressure to the enemy. However, you are not to trade shots with the enemy. As with this incredible gun that the Leopard gets, you are likely to penetrate most vehicles you are shooting at. However, they are equally likely to penetrate you. As a result, this tank should stay away from direct combat and play a more of a support sniper role. Think of it as a TD more than a heavy tank, or a main battle tank that is a brawler. Let's talk about the gun and the choice of ammunition. As you can see, I still have to unlock some choices of ammunition and even the engine on the Leopard. I have not played this machine a lot at all. So let's take a moment here and take a look at the ammo for the Leopard. Your choice of ammo is armor piercing 105 millimeter DM43 APF SDS with penetration of 230 and damage of 245. On a tier 3 tank, 230 millimeters of penetration and 245 millimeters, 245 points of damage and 230 millimeters of penetration is incredible. You will basically be able to penetrate almost anything apart from the T-62's turret, which, as you can see, has 242 millimeters of frontal armor, and it's rounded. This thing is impenetrable. However, shoot at any other part of this tank and you will be able to go through it like a knife through butter with your AP ammunition. However, this is not the main benefit of the tank. To me, the most interesting piece of equipment that you can fit on it, as well as there are even some flat upgrades to your weapon, to your main ammunition. The best being the 105mm DM223A1 APDS, which has 247mm of penetration and 263mm. Again, millimeters. No, it's not millimeters. 263 points of damage. This can go through the T-62 if it's armor, if it's shooting at the side of the turret. Frontally, it can still not penetrate the turret from the front if the driver knows what he's doing and is, well, again, not giving you your side or his rear of the turret. However, this is not the most interesting ammunition on the Leopard. Because of its insanely good gun, which fires extremely quickly, is incredibly accurate. Although most guns at tier 3 have similar accuracy, this one is definitely the best one in terms of main battle tanks. There is one specific ammo you need to look out for, which can be incredibly productive for you. High explosive anti-tank, that's heat. High explosive anti-tank ammunition on the Leopard has 264mm. Why do I keep saying millimeters? 264 points of damage and 193mm of penetration. This means that heat can penetrate practically any part of an M60 or a T-62 as long as you don't hit their obvious strong spots on the tank. Anywhere in the hull of the M60, the heat round is going to go through and do massive amounts of damage. And at the price of 114 credits per shell, it is not exactly cheap. If you compare it to the T-62s, which is 138, you are paying less for your heat shells. So in that sense, heat is the way to go with this vehicle. Again, at tier 3 you are not really worried about economics at all with your tanks, because, well, you're going to make money no matter what you do in a game, more or less, as long as you're not shooting your allies. However, what you should do is load a couple of extra heat shells, and the ammunition layout I like to go with is 15, 10, 25. 10 high explosive shells may be a bit overkill. However, there are certain situations in which you really just want to do any sort of damage to the enemy vehicle, especially if you're targeting light trucks such as the LAV or the BMP-1 or any sort of scouting vehicle. Then you might want to consider loading heat and firing at it. As far as the AP ammunition is concerned, well, it's very situational. Again, if you can only see the turret part of the T-62 or the frontal turret part of an M60, then you might want to consider loading AP. For the rest, it's mostly going to be heat that you're firing, because of its ability to do pretty much great damage all around and cause damage to modules. As far as retrofits, my apologies, are concerned, I put the advanced thermal sleeve on it, and as I already mentioned, the internal hull reinforcement. The advanced sleeve on it makes this gun just that much better. You're dealing with probably the best gun at tier 3 on a main battle tank, and it is, again, its high accuracy, high damage, high penetration, and high rate of fire make it just all around great. Advanced thermal sleeve only improves this. That is as far as I'm going to go in terms of how you should play this tank. Let's see it in practice, hopefully on a semi-okay match. And, oh, actually, I forgot, there is one more thing I need to mention. The Leopard is given a fairly unique bit of kit, comparing it to the M60, which doesn't get any sort of equipment like this, or the T62, which just doesn't get that kind of equipment either. What am I talking about? Well, the smoke grenades. It allows one discharge of smoke grenades and cannot be activated more than once per 5 seconds. Smoke grenades essentially improve your stealth ability, your ability to remain undetected, and this goes hand in hand with the ability, with the features, I suppose, of the Leopard, that this is not a tank that should be in a brawl, but rather should be treated as a support tank. Let's go into a match and try and display that in practice. And here we are in game. Quite a few rather T62s on the enemy team, which is why I'm going to be which is why I'm going to be loading AP shells from the very beginning and using those for a while. This is not the best map for the Leopard, as there is really quite a lot of focus on brawling here and close range engagements. T62s thrive on this map because of their turret armor, and the first part of the tank you see at a distance over a ridge usually is a turret, and people tend to shoot at turrets because that's the first thing they see. People are stupid, especially at tier 3. Players are just getting into the game and don't really pay any attention to the armor stats of a T62 will be tempted into shooting it in the turret. Admittedly, in a Leopard 1, so will I, but I have reason behind my madness, is because AP shells do that much penetration, so you think about that for a second. Although again, generally, probably like 80% of the time we will bounce off such a vehicle as a T62. We are going to camp here near our scouts, and hopefully, there we go, get our stealth on and shoot at enemies that are approaching over there, and then back off away and preventing them from giving any return fire, provided that anyone spots them, that is. And this is sort of the natural habitat of a Leopard, of a Leopard 1, that is. Compared to its I guess compared to its competition, the Leopard 1 stays behind, snipes and supports heavy tanks such as the T62 and the American M60, I believe. M60, right? Yeah, probably. I'm probably getting that wrong, actually. Knowing me, nevertheless. We can get into a slightly better position. Maybe we'll be able to pick off some targets from here, although I doubt it. Yeah, there's no one here. Oh! There is a T62 heading over on our left here, and he is supported by someone over there as well, which we're going to spot again soon, I have no doubt. Problem is I'm going to be taking fire from the right as soon as I open fire with my main gun, so I probably want to get into a bit of a better position. And there it is. No, in fact, I probably hit the turret. Let's, whoops. And we've been spotted by the BMP, which means we need to back off. Make sure that when you re-engage someone, you are no longer spotted in this tank, as you do have a lot of HP, but that HP can go away very, very quickly indeed if you are not careful. 2 well-placed shots, heat shells, because generally when you see a Leopard you want to be firing heat at it, as it has very low armor and you're most likely going to penetrate it. If you penetrate with heat, well, you're in a very good spot. again, this is the sort of stuff you want to be doing. Firing a shell, then backing off, and with this gun's great depression, gun depression that is, you'll be doing quite a bit of damage to BMPs, you'll be doing quite a bit of... Well, I should have fired heat over there, but I'm sort of paranoid about the... And there we go, 2 shots. 2 shots have landed on our tank, 3 shots have landed on our tank. One of our flanks has completely collapsed. I need to load heat if I want to survive. 3rd, 4th shell maybe even goes in. That guy dodges my rounds, and I'm dead to a dragon, or a dragoon. Sorry. You have no armor. This is a slight bit of a problem with the Leopard, and the dragoon with its 90mm gun can easily penetrate you with heat. We shall not be commentating on the astonishing lack of resistance by my team, who have single-handedly managed to do probably as much damage as I have. Personally, probably is roughly as much damage as the team managed to do entirely. Well, also the rest of the team, I guess. Let's go back to the garage and examine a couple of other things about the Leopard. And then maybe do a bit of PvE and show you the Leopard there, I guess, is what we can do. Just to make the video a bit longer, I guess. There is one thing I'm going to address before we continue on. There are going to be comments, as there were initially with World of Tanks. This guy doesn't have any idea what he's talking about. He doesn't have a level 10 tank, tier 10 tank in his garage. He blah 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 blah. Basically, yes, this guy, meaning me, is not the best Armored Warfare player in the world. Sorry. English failure. Only making it better. Only making my arguments better, that is. True enough, I may not be the best player in the world. I fully admit to that. I may be maybe even average, or hell, even if I'm slightly below average, I don't particularly care. Although I don't think that's the case. I don't think one's skill has much to do with doing reviews of vehicles, personally. Because on paper, you may know exactly what to do with a tank. The results you're going to get, as you saw, are questionable, because it is not up to you a lot of the time, and especially in a Leopard. Its ability to carry is not tremendous. It does have a great gun and all, but when it comes to getting shot and getting shot at and tight maneuvers, it's not the best tank you want to be driving into a situation like that. So, to answer comments such as this guy's a noob and he shouldn't be doing these reviews, noob, maybe shouldn't be doing reviews. I don't think it has anything to do with it, because do you disagree with anything I said about the Leopard? Because I don't think you should. All points that were made about the Leopard are accurate. How it should be played is accurate. This tank is not a brawler. If you brawl in it, you put yourself at a disadvantage. I told you how to play the tank. Right? That's the review of it. I compare it to other vehicles and tell you its strengths and weaknesses. I've done that. I haven't made a mistake along the way. Okay, yes, the T-62 has a great frontal turret armor. Yes, the Leopard 1 does not. These are facts. Facts have nothing to do with one's skill in the game. I just wanted to point that out. As far as crew skills go, because that's totally what we are going to pick right now. Well, I like to improve accuracy while moving in this vehicle. Also like to improve the aim speed. And let's see, reload time. Reason being, this is a high-powered, quick-firing gun. You want to make it even better. You want to focus everything, this entire hunk of metal, you want to focus it on the gun. The rest is a box that can take a couple of shells and keep moving. It is essentially a metal box that carries this great gun, and the focus of your gameplay should be on utilizing that gun. Keep it firing, keep it red, glowing hot by the end of the game, and you shall have incredible results within your Leopard. Also, you're gonna need to have some luck in regards with your teammates, which I clearly didn't. Oh well. Let's do a bit of PvE and end it at that. As we find a match, I shall attempt to look at a couple of other stats in regards to the Leopard. Its vision is 360 meters, which is okay. However, a lot of the time, because you can be hanging in the back, you're not going to be really relying on your own vision, or your own detection range, I suppose. You're going to be relying on other people to scout for you and then be able to shoot at what they've spotted. So, in terms of doing that, the Leopard is completely fine in that regard. As we load into a PvE operation. I'm unprofessionally going to take a sip of water. The speed of the Leopard is, I don't think, something I covered. Because the Leopard is not the fastest tank in the game. It is neither the slowest tank in the game. Now, admittedly, I do not have the best engine on it, which will make it faster later down the line, but I think a fully upgraded Leopard is slightly faster than a fully upgraded T62, which again is by no means fast. However, it can get itself around the battlefield reasonably quickly, and there comes a point where you don't need too much speed. Reason being, you're there to get yourself in a good position. Then, after you get yourself in a good position, you are there to fire at enemy tanks. If you get detected or compromised, you're going to move away and, you know, fire at other people at a different location, maybe. You're not exactly going to be chasing around anybody. So for the purposes of just that, going from spot to spot and then changing locations relatively quickly, the Leopard is completely fine. Its speed is actually okay, reasonable, actually better than reasonable. The tank could do with being slower, and it wouldn't exactly be ruining the tank. It wouldn't be doing it any favours, but it wouldn't be a tremendously bad thing. Didn't you just say you're supposed to be not brawling in this vehicle? Well, what the hell are you doing, Jug? This is PvE. PvE is different. It doesn't count. What I'm trying to show you is the gun. Fast firing, accurate, even on the move. Well, it is accurate unless your hand twitches and you just donk a shell straight down. Then it's not accurate. And with a healthy amount of hit points, you can even get into some close quarter situations like this and pull out a win, although you shouldn't. But when the game's nearing its end, you might want to secure an extra kill, or you're one of the last few people alive, then yeah, you might want to put yourself in this situation. Or specifically, you might not have a choice, so the amount of hit points is certainly going to help you out in those situations. Let's try and do a bit of a cinematic move here. This is why I mostly play PvE, is to get some nice cinematic footage of tanks. Slightly off there. Gotcha. At this point, there will be no more productive commentary regarding the Leopard 1. All that I wanted to say was said, and this pretty much concludes my review of the Leopard 1 main battle tank from Germany. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to like and subscribe down below, and if you disagree with me on any point about this tank, then please feel free to say so down in the comments, and you know, we can have a nice pleasant discussion about it and not hate each other's guts, which is what most people do when they disagree with someone on the internet, but that's social critique for a different period of time. For now, my name has been Juggernaut, and until next time, take care. I will show you the rest of the PvE mission, just for the head. Well, I was going to show you the PvE match, but nothing interesting happened. I just need to be a bit more careful, I suppose, and I took some stupid damage in the beginning, and I wanted to get some cinematic moments out of that, but I couldn't really, so that's it. Take care until next time. Bye bye.